everybody. Welcome to class. I'm really glad that you made it tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda McIntire, and this is the OLLI Beginning Yoga class. I'm hoping that you have set up your mat in your space, or maybe you're just getting settled right now. So take your time and make a space that works for you tonight. I'm so grateful to OLLI and Continuing in Distance Education for providing this free opportunity for you guys to take these yoga classes. It's pretty great. Next week is going to be the last one of these free classes on YouTube. If you are interested in continuing to take my classes, I'm going to be offering them on Wednesday nights. You can sign up through OLLI. They'll get you hooked up with the link and how all of that's going to work. They have lots of other great programming available this fall also, so do go to their website and check it out. But I'm so glad we've been able to spend this summer together. If you're new, welcome, and if you're joining me again, good for you. That's awesome. I'm really glad that you're doing this for yourself. This is a beginner class, and with that in mind, I really trust that you're going to do what works best in your own body tonight as we go through the practice. So if something doesn't feel quite right, maybe you need to back off a little bit or put some kind of cushioning under your knee, for example, if we're on the floor. I'll be offering up some modification options, ways to make it harder or easier so that you can fit tonight's practice to what's going to work best for you based on where your body's at right now, right in this moment together. So do what you can, be kind to yourself, and give yourself credit for being here in this moment. Haha. So I mentioned setting aside distractions. If you have a clock or a watch or a phone, maybe you want to flip it over, set it to the side, put a little towel over it, because there's only one time right now, and that's the present. That's just right now. So I will take care of the timing, and I'll let you know when our hour together is up. One of my favorite phrases that I love, that I kind of play in the back of my mind when I'm thinking about yoga classes, it's attributed to Bill Keane, who did Family Circus, if you remember that comic strip. But the quote says, "Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift," and that's why they call it the present. Really simple, but I kind of love that idea. And when we think about where we're at any point in time, if things are going well for us or if things are, we're struggling with things, oftentimes we're not actually connected to the moment that we're in. So yesterday's history, when we struggle with yesterday's history, sometimes in some of us that looks like depression. When we struggle with the future, the mystery of tomorrow, in some of us that ends up looking like something like anxiety. When we're in this gift of the present moment, oftentimes that's a place where we can find some balance, a moment where we can connect with what it is that we have going on and let go of everything else, kind of set everything else aside to bring some clarity and focus. Now, truth is, the present moment is not always a pleasant moment. And so sometimes we need to adjust, or we need to lean into it, maybe breathe, maybe do some yoga. But being in the present moment, two great aspects to it. One is that when we are struggling, if we are lamenting about the past or really worried about what tomorrow or what dinner is going to look like, getting really present with where we're at right in this exact moment can be really, really helpful. Letting go of what those worries are and just recognizing like, oh, I'm here in this body practicing yoga or in my home or somewhere that I'm safe right now. So present moment awareness is this really helpful tool that we have when we're struggling with things in order to shed some stuff and really get clear, get focused, and get more grounded. Present moment awareness can also enhance when things are going well. It gives us an opportunity to really fully enjoy and appreciate experiences. So recognizing when something is going well, really enjoying it, soaking it in, appreciating it with gratitude, and maybe even imprinting it on your mind and on your heart, whatever that experience is, every element of it, so that you can call it up in the future when you need a point of reference of something that's really joyful and present for you. To be present in the moment is to be connected in your mind, in your body, in your spirit. And it's to be connected to everything that's going on around you in that moment. So sensations, how you're feeling, what the body is like, what your space is like, thoughts. So as we go through our practice tonight, we're going to practice some present moment awareness. And sometimes you might find yourself in a difficult present moment, and other times it might be something that's just absolutely delicious for you. But this is just a practice. So do the best that you can with it. Take a break when you need to. Go deeper when you need to. But together, let's work on being really present for this next hour. This is the only time that we've got. It's just right now. So let's be here together. Do your best to find a comfortable seat wherever you're at, sitting up nice and tall. I'm sitting on a block and a blanket tonight. Maybe you're right on the floor. Maybe you're even sitting in a chair. But wherever you're at, make sure that your weight is even between both of your hips. Sometimes it helps to pull the fleshy part away from your sits bones to really broaden through the seat. Your hands are on your knees or thighs, and you're sitting up nice and tall. The chin is just tucked in just a little bit to keep your ears over your shoulders as the crown of your head points directly up towards the ceiling. And remember that this seat is your own. So if sitting with crossed legs is not comfortable for you, or you know that's a bad idea for your body, find an alternate position that might work better. Maybe the knees are bent, legs are extended, but find something that works for you in this moment. Maybe last time you were in class, your seat was different, and that's totally fine. So wherever you're at, sit up nice and tall, keeping the chin parallel to the floor and your shoulders relaxed down on your back. Close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze as you allow yourself to arrive on your mat tonight. And do your best to set aside wherever you're coming from, whatever it is that you were just doing. And just leave it at the door. Also do your best to pause on whatever you were thinking about for the future, whatever the next step might be. See if you can let go of that to just be here in the present moment. Feel yourself sitting here on your mat in your space. And begin to connect to your breath as you let go of your day. As you settle into this seat, finding what comfort you can, bring your awareness to your mind's eye and let yourself be transported off of your mat and onto a beach, like the sandy part of a beach, like a pretty white sandy beach. And you're standing on the sand with your feet bare, feeling the coolness of the sand beneath you. And you notice the temperature on this beach is just perfect. Whatever that is for you, it's right here, right now. Feel yourself soaking in the soft feeling of the sand beneath your feet. A very gentle breeze with this just ideal temperature on your skin. And then you notice that there is some sort of a boat, a float, a paddleboard, whatever's comfortable for you, something that you can get on the water, not too deep, but just to get out away from the land a little bit. And if you're like, no, I'm not into getting into the water, you're welcome to stay on the beach. But if this sounds nice to you, get on your little craft and just go out into the water a little bit. As you get further away from the sandy beach, notice that the breeze picks up a little bit off of the water. And take a look around you, to the left and to the right. You can see mountains all the way up to the sky, pouring all the way down into the water that you're in right now. If you look beneath you, you can see crystal clear water with white sand beneath it, just looking so inviting, safe and comfortable. And then you take a look up towards the sky, and you realize the clouds are just perfect today. There's some sun coming through, but a little bit of clouds to keep the temperature nice, to make the sky beautiful. And you begin to breathe deeply. You can hear the sounds of birds, the lapping of the water, the feeling of the air around you. And suddenly you notice that the smell of the air has started to change. It smells a little bit like rain is starting to come in. And then you feel a drop. And then another drop as it gets a little bit darker. And all of the sudden, the clouds cover the sun and the sky opens up and just starts to pour on you as you're sitting on your little craft wearing a bathing suit. And other people who are in the water or who are on the beach are starting to run, to get out of the water, to get away from the rain. And you're thinking about doing the same thing until you realize that you're on the water and you're in the rain. You're already wet, so why not just enjoy this special moment? And so you just sit there and you enjoy the water coming down on you. Maybe you even get into the water and get right to eye level where you can see the droplets hitting the top of the surface. And you begin to soak in this moment of beauty and wonder and change that's happening all around you. Maybe a couple people who are running off the beach see you and think it's a good idea to get in the water instead, recognizing that this present moment is pretty special and that you're already wet. And then as quickly as it came through, the clouds start to part. The sun peeks out, and it's just a little bit warmer than it was before. So you start to dry off in a really comfortable and relaxed way. You take your time as you make your way back to shore and slowly start to get ready to pack up as everyone else is trying to figure out what to do with their wet towels and their beach stuff. You turn and take a look out at the water, standing up nice and tall, and just soak all of it in. The freedom you felt, the wonder of nature, the peace of the water. And you capture all of that and take it with you on to your day and whatever you're doing next. allow your awareness to come back to this body on your mat. And bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart. And we're going to chant the sound of Om together. And we're going to just chant it one time in this moment. I'll guide you through it. You can chant as loudly or as softly as you would like, but we'll just do it together. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. Release your hands and gently let your eyes flutter open as you keep sitting up nice and tall. Welcome back to this present moment. And I talked about how present moment awareness can help us when we're struggling with things, and it can also remind us of really positive experiences. And that guided meditation was my experience from over the weekend, and it was just so incredible that I had to capture all of it, and I really wanted to share it with you. So find your seat, sitting up nice and tall, right here in this moment. Hands are on your knees or thighs. If you have to adjust your legs, feel free to do so. But bring your awareness to the tip of your nose. And if you're not sure where that is, you're welcome to take your finger and touch it so that you can figure it out. Because it's like maybe you know where it is, but where? Okay, here it is. All right, so there's where your nose is. Hands are on your knees or thighs. Use the tip of your nose to start drawing some really tiny circles. And then you're going to start to make the circles bigger. So there's this spiral that you're drawing with the nose. And we're trying to make it a round sort of a thing, but you might notice in this moment that it's a little bit not so round. We're going to reverse directions with the circles, this time starting real big, and then working our way to the center of the spiral, getting a little smaller and a little smaller. Keeping your focus on the tip of your nose, nice. And then come to center, relaxing the back of the neck and bringing stillness to the head. Nice job. All right. If you're sitting on a block, remove it. If you're sitting on a blanket, that might be a comfortable thing to sit on, but I'm going to set everything aside right now and come to extending your legs out in front of you. Nice, tall seat. And we're going to take the right foot and place it on the inside of the left thigh. Again, make sure that the weight is evenly distributed between both of your hips. Your left leg is straight and the left foot is flexed. Your right knee is bent. And if your knee is really far away from the floor, if your hips are feeling rather tight, you're always welcome to take your blanket and just tuck it underneath there. That can make it a lot more comfortable for you. If you've never tried it out, maybe this is a good moment to try it. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to turn the torso towards the extended leg. Inhale to reach your arms up overhead, and then leading with your chest, exhale and reach forward, extending over the left leg, keeping a nice long neck. There's this little bit of a twisting element going on for the torso to stay in alignment with the leg. Inhale, reach through the fingertips and bring your arms up overhead. Nice, keep the shoulders on the back. As you exhale, we're going to gently twist to the right, bringing your right fingertips to the floor just behind your tailbone. Left hand is on the bent knee. As you inhale, you sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, you twist to the right. Only go as far as your body wants to at this point, and your breath is a really good indicator. So if you're struggling for breath, back off a little bit. Keep your left hand on the bent knee. As you inhale, sweep your right arm up overhead. We're reaching towards the extended foot, which is the left foot. And turn your head so that you're looking at the left foot. Lots of opening through the right side of the body in this moment. Lots of breathing. And then gently start to turn your head. Take your time. We're turning our heads and taking a look up towards the lifted hand. Now, remember, you're in control. So if your neck says, no, this is a bad idea, or this makes me feel queasy, you can always turn the head to look back towards your foot. Otherwise, you can use this moment to open up through the neck and throat and shoulders. Inhale and come on up to center, and we'll switch sides. So extend the right foot out, Bring the sole of the left foot on the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall, and then once again, turn the torso towards the right leg, extending the arms up overhead. Lead with the chest as you exhale. Reach forward. Hands come on either side of the leg. Lots of space between the ears and shoulders. Nice. Reach through your fingertips. Inhale to bring the arms up overhead. Keep the shoulders relaxed, belly tucked in. Nice. And then gently twist to the left. So left fingertips come just behind the back on the floor. Right hand is on the bent knee. Very little weight in this left hand. It's just like a little kickstand like you have on your bike. And then keep the right hand on the bent knee. Inhale to sweep the left arm up overhead. You're turning your head so that you're looking at that extended foot. And then if you can, gently turn the head, working your way towards looking up towards the lifted arm. Nice. Inhale to come back to center. And then we're going to scoot around and come onto all fours on our hands and knees in a tabletop position. And if as you get into this tabletop right now, you think, I need to cushion my knees a little bit, which I actually do tonight, feel free to grab a blanket or fold your mat over a little bit. We're lining up the hips over the knees and the shoulders over the wrists. Bring your awareness to your tailbone. So the very, very end of the spine. And if you're not sure where that is, you can always place your hand right at the top of the hips. That's pretty close to where the sacrum is. On an inhale, you're going to start from the tailbone and you're going to stick the tailbone up, dropping the low back, dropping the belly, dropping the chest with the head rising last. So there's this wave motion in the spine. As you exhale, starting from the tailbone, tuck the tailbone, round the low back, round the shoulders, tuck the chin. For cat pose, inhale again, stick the tailbone up, drop the belly, drop the chest, let the chin lift. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in, round the spine. And do a few more of these in your own time and your own breath, getting really present with the vertebra, initiating from the tailbone. You can go more quickly or more slowly, whatever works for you. And after your next exhale, which is cat pose, come back to a neutral spine, flat back. Nice. Feel your hands actively pressing into the mat. Maybe this is the first time you're actually even noticing the feeling of the mat underneath your hands. Keep that left hand nice and grounded as you inhale, extend the right arm out. And then strong and steady in the legs, extend the left leg directly behind you, keeping the hips level. If you feel that your low back is starting to sink, pull in at the low belly so that the spine stays even. A couple more breaths here, as steady as you can. And then plant the right hand on the mat. Move the left foot over towards the right side of the mat, and I'm looking over my right shoulder, seeing if maybe I can see my left foot getting a stretch through the left side of the body. Strong and steady in the left leg, bring it back to center and bring the knee beneath you, and we'll switch sides. And of course, take any movements you need to here. If you need to shake out the wrists or the hips, you can do that. And then once again, feel your hands firmly planted on the mat. Feel the connection between the palms of your hands and the floor. Strong and steady in the right arm. Extend the left arm directly out in front of you. And then kick the right leg directly behind. Nice long spine. Flex the right foot so the toes are pointed towards the floor. Strong and steady in the belly so that the spine is level and flat. A couple more breaths here. Lower the left hand. Bring the right toes to the left side of the mat. Look over the left shoulder. Stretching into the right side of the body. Strong and steady in the right leg. Bring it on back to center. And then lower the knee beneath you. And come on into child's pose. So bring the big toes together. Let the knees be wide as you move your hips back. We're working on opening up through the back body here. Inhale and come back onto all fours. Walk your knees back just a couple of inches. Tuck your toes. Hands are shoulder width apart or wider. Fingers are spread wide as you press your hands into the mat. Strong in the belly. Move your hips up and back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You're pressing into the hands as the hips move up and back. Steady breath. On an exhale, glide forward to plank, top of a push-up, keeping your hands and feet in alignment here. You might find you have to scoot your toes back to have the legs straight. But we've got shoulders over the wrists, nice and strong in the belly. Legs are as straight as they can be. All right, keep your hands and feet where they are. Move your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And in this version of down dog, your heels are likely not touching the floor. And that's typically the intention that I offer up in this posture, looking for a long spine. But to do something a little different in this moment, I invite you to walk your feet forward just a little bit so that your heels are getting closer to the floor. And notice where you might be feeling that. And you might not be feeling it anywhere, or maybe that's really getting into your calves, into your IT bands or your hamstrings. So just notice the difference here. And then walk your feet up towards your hands, coming to a forward fold at the top of your mat. So feet are hips distance apart and parallel. You're hinged forward at the hips and your legs are as straight as they can be. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come on up to standing. Nice job. Find yourself up at the top of your mat. Feet hips distance apart and parallel. Bring your awareness to your feet and begin by feeling the mat beneath them. And if you're like, I don't quite feel it, if you need to scoot your toes around a little bit, do that. But make that connection. Feel the rubber connecting to the bottom of your foot. Okay, take a look down at your toes, and we're going to lift all of the toes that you've got up off of the floor, and then toe by toe, see if you can place each toe back down on the mat, creating a nice wide foot. And if you're doing this and you get a Charlie horse, stop doing this. That does happen sometimes. And maybe you find that you have this amazing control over your toes where you can put each one down, or maybe you're finding that your toes have a mind of their own. But notice when we're trying to control our toes, there's no time like the present. You can't think about anything else but what's going on with the toes. So nice job. Make sure that your feet are nice and wide on the mat, so meaning lots of space on the soles of the feet. Get active in the legs here. So hug in at the shins, lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs. Little soft bend in the knees. I'll give you a side view because we want to engage the abdominal muscles. So stick the tailbone out, pull the lower belly in. If you don't know where that is, feel free to feel around for it. And then keeping all of that strength, neutralize the spine so it's pointing towards the floor and you're really solid through the middle. Then straighten the legs, releasing your arms down by your sides. The ribs are tucked. You're really strong in the belly. Close your eyes for a moment and get really present here. Feeling your feet connected to the mat. Feeling the strength from your legs up through your core. Feeling the space between your ears and shoulders. And being really open through the chest. Open in the mind and open in the heart. Let your eyes flutter open. Nice job. Inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips. Fold all the way forward. Inhale up halfway to a flat back. So bring your hands to your thighs. Tuck your elbows in as you look down at the floor, finding a nice long spine. Exhale once again, folding deeply. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach the arms wide as you come all the way up. Exhale and bring your hands to heart center. Nice job. If you're using blocks tonight, bring your blocks up to the top of your mat. If you're using a blanket, you're welcome to continue using it, or you can set it off to the side. We're not using blocks in this exact moment, but they'll be at the ready for us. So come on up to the top of your mat. And once again, find mountain pose. So feet hips distance apart and parallel. You're rooted, tall and strong, really open here. Very present. So there's actually a lot of thought that goes into this mountain pose posture. So if you're like, okay, my feet doing the right thing, are my shoulders doing the right thing, good job. All right, stand up nice and tall in this mountain pose. Bring your awareness to your left foot and start to pour your weight into your left foot as the right foot starts to become a little bit more light. Notice I'm coming up on my toe, and I'm going to move the sole of my right foot to the inside of the left ankle for tree pose or Vrksasana. In this posture, I'm pushing the sole of my right foot into the ankle and the ankle into the foot as I stand up nice and tall. If you're feeling really solid here, maybe you can bring the foot to the inside of the calf, or maybe even catch the ankle and bring it to the inside of the thigh, avoiding the knee. But wherever you're at, you're as stable as you can be, and you're as present as you can be. When you find your tree, bring your palms together in prayer in front of your heart. And again, notice that feeling between the floor and your standing foot. The feeling between your right foot and the inside of the left leg. Notice what your left ankle is up to right now, or whether or not you're breathing. Keeping the palms together, gently start to grow the branches up overhead. Lots of space between the ears and shoulders. Belly's nice and strong, and then grow the branches out, extending the arms, spreading the fingers. Breathing. All right, connect the palms. Exhale and bring your hands to your heart. Bring the knee forward and release and shake that out a little bit. So not only does balancing help us in this weight-bearing exercise thing, in helping us maintain and not lose our balance over time, but it also helps us stay present mentally. Because it's really, really hard to balance on one foot when you are making lists of things to do or being worried about things or thinking about something other than not falling over. So anytime you need to shift your perspective, maybe try balancing on one foot. Let's see what the other side looks like tonight, okay? So make friends with your feet. Take a look down. Make sure that that right foot is firmly rooted. Maybe if you like this lifting the toes thing and placing them back down, you can do that again. Right leg is firmly engaged. As you start to shift your weight, the left foot becomes nice and light. And then we're going to place the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right ankle. Again, pressing the ankle into the foot into the ankle. And you can either stay here, or you can bring the foot up to the inner calf or the inner thigh if you're feeling really steady tonight. Remember, you can always change the positioning of your foot if you want to. But wherever you are, you're standing up nice and tall, present, and as steady as you can be. Keep pressing the palms together. Keep pressing the foot into the leg. As you inhale, you'll start to reach the palms up overhead. Lots of space between the ears and the shoulders. And then extend the branches out, spreading the fingers, creating space in the shoulders. Nice. Connect the palms overhead. Exhale to bring your hands to your heart. Check in with this present moment, where your body's at, where your mind is at. Bring the left knee forward. Lower the foot to the floor and shake it out a little bit. Really nice job. Find yourself up at the top of your mat, mountain pose once again. Inhale to float the fingertips up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Inhale up halfway to a flat back, elbows tucked in. Exhale, bend the knees really deeply as you fold forward here. Press all the air out of the lungs. Bend the knees, nice deep breath in as you reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come to heart center. One more time, inhale. Reach the fingertips up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Step your right foot back to a lunge. In this lunge, your front knee is over the front ankle. Your back heel is lifted, so you're on your back toes with the back leg is straight. Your hands are connected to the floor or to blocks. Most of the weight, however, is in your legs. So wherever your hands are is just for a little extra balance and to keep space between the ears and shoulders. Really get a nice opening through the right thigh and hip. And then gently make your way back to plank, top of a push-up. If you need to drop both knees first, you can do that, or maybe step the left foot back. Whatever works for you, but find yourself here in plank. Plank is another great posture that demands attention. And you're welcome to just work on your plank where you're at right now, which is shoulders over the wrists, belly nice and strong, legs are straight, everything is engaged. But if you want a little added challenge, you can try hovering your right foot up off of the mat. That means engaging more in the left thigh, staying strong in the belly. Lower your right toes down to the floor if they were lifted. If they weren't lifted, I don't blame you a bit. There's plenty going on in plank. And then gently lower your knees, point your toes, bring your torso all the way down to the floor. Hands are underneath your shoulders, legs are straight and toes are pointed. On an inhale, peel your chest up off the mat for cobra. Exhale to lower back down. Tuck your toes, make your way back to downward dog. You can push up through plank. You can go through all fours on tabletop, but we'll end up in down dog. And then walk your feet up towards your hands so that you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Root yourself down. So really press your hips down towards the floor as you come on up to standing. So you're nice and solid. Excellent. Find your mountain pose once again as we move through the other side. Inhale and sweep the arms up overhead. Nice deep breath, taking in this moment. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward. Let your head relax. Let any tension just pour out of you. This time, step your left foot back to a lunge. Again, your hands are on the floor or on blocks. Front knee over the front ankle, back leg is straight. You're buoyant in the hips and strong in the belly. Steady breath. And then work your way back to plank. Top of a push-up, nice and strong here. So plank is a lot like mountain pose, except for tipped over. So make sure that the low belly is tucked in, that the ribs are tucked, so you're really strong in the core. You're looking out on the floor ahead of the mat, and you can either stay right here in plank or join me in hovering the left foot off of the mat, or maybe you need to come down on your knees and take a break right now. Wherever you're at is perfect, especially if you're listening to yourself. If your left toes are lifted, lower them to the mat, and then either lower down in one straight line or join me in dropping the knees, pointing the toes, and bringing your body all the way down to the floor. Legs are straight. Squeeze the legs together and release your arms down by your sides with your palms face up. Get really strong in the belly. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the lower abs. As you exhale, see what you can lift off of the floor. So lift everything you can up off of the mat. Fingertips, toes, maybe your knees, maybe your chest. Make sure you can breathe. Exhale to lower back down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, and either through a push-up or through tabletop, make your way back to downward facing dog. When you reach your down dog, pedal the feet out a little bit. So alternate bending each knee, getting some movement in the hips. Come to stillness with the legs, and then walk your way up to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Once again, hands come to the hips. Root yourself down, press into the feet, and come on up to standing. Nice job. Find this mountain pose at the top of your mat again. Feel your left foot pressing into the floor. Get really present with the left leg, with the foot really engaged. Begin to shift your weight. As you inhale, we're lightening through the right foot, seeing if we can lift the right knee up in front. And maybe you're still working on getting your toes off the floor. Totally fine. Just make sure that you're standing up as nice and tall as you can on the left foot, doing the best that you can. And then gently step your right toes back to a high lunge. And you might have to scoot them a little bit to get there. Your front foot, both feet should be pointing straight ahead. Your front foot is completely pressed into the floor. Your back foot just has the toes connected. Your heel is lifted as you're in this lunge. Arms are down by your sides with your palms facing straight ahead. Inhale to float the arms up. Take a look up if that feels good for you. That adds a little bit of challenge to the posture if you wanted more challenge. Connect the palms and bring your hands to your heart. Strong in the belly as you inhale will open to the left. So a little bit of a twist. Exhale to come back to center. Palms come to your heart. Bring your hands to your hips. Press into the front foot as you step the back foot forward and then shake it out a little bit. All right, other side. Find mountain pose once again. This time bring your awareness to your right foot. Feel it pressing into the floor. Really strong in the right leg. Start to shift your weight as you inhale. We'll try to get the left foot off of the floor. Steady breath. Wherever your foot's at is totally fine. You're going to gently step your left toes back to a high lunge. Again, this front knee is over the front ankle. Back leg is straight. The back heel is lifted. Strong in the belly. Ribs are tucked in. Arms are down by your sides with your palms facing straight ahead. Nice job. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale to float the arms up. Take a look up. Let the shoulders relax. Connect the palms as you exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. As you inhale, we'll sweep it out to the right side, twisting towards the bent knee. Exhale to unwind, back to center. Hands come to your heart. And then bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot, and come on up to the top of the mat. Again, taking any movements that might feel good. If it feels good to shake it out or do some empty coat sleeves, you can do that. And make your way to the middle of your mat. And we're going to step, move my blocks out of the way. Actually, have one block at the ready if you happen to have one. If you don't worry about it. But your feet are going to be on the outside edges of the mat. My heels are turned in a little bit so that my feet are at a 45-degree angle. Okay. So from here, as you inhale, bring your arms out to a T. Stay strong in the belly and legs. And envision that you've got like a friend on either wrist, and they are fighting over you because they want to hang out with you so bad. So they're pulling on either wrist, stretching you out Gumby style. Like, how stretchy can you be here? Nice. Take up lots of space. Excellent. Okay, they let go of your wrists, and you're going to bring your arms up so that your body's now in the shape of an X. And you are taking up this glorious space, like as much space as you want, plus, plus, plus. So feel yourself full of space in this present moment, reaching through the fingertips, feeling the feet pressing into the floor. Nice and strong in the belly. As you exhale, bring the elbows in towards the core, bend the knees in a squat. Nice. Inhale, expand, take up lots of space in this moment. And then as you exhale, bring everything in nice and strong. So you can take up space and be super strong at the same time, in the same moment. Amazing. Inhale, lots of space. Exhale, nice and strong. Keep the knees pointing towards the toes. Last time, inhale, lots of space. Take a look up, open the chest. Exhale, nice and strong through the core. Arms are nice and strong. Excellent. Inhale to extend the arms out. Hands come to the hips. Pivot your feet so that they're parallel to the edges of the mat. And then on an exhale, come forward to a flat back. And you get to choose if it feels better for you to widen your stance here, you're welcome to do that. If you already feel like you're wide enough and you want to narrow it, go for it. But this should be what we consider a wide stance. You're looking down at the floor, hands are on the hips, and then your right hand is going to come to the floor or a block as you sweep the left arm up for a twist. Stay really grounded in the feet here. As you exhale, we'll switch sides. So left hand comes to the floor or block as the right hand lifts. And really you're keeping your weight in your legs and in your torso. The hand that's connected to the ground is just for balance. Exhale to release the right hand, and then fold as far forward as feels comfortable for you. If it feels good to walk your hands underneath, behind you, you can do that. Let the head relax. Bring your hands to the middle, just below the body. Bring your hands to your hips, press into the feet, and come on up to standing. Nice job. Heel toe your feet until you get towards the center, and come on up to the top of your mat. All right, find mountain pose. We're going to step the right foot back for warrior two. Now in warrior two, this is a big lunge. You're taking up most of the mat. Your back foot's parallel to the back of the mat, and your front heel is aligned with the back arch, and you're bending into the front knee. Hips and shoulders are facing the long side of the room. As you inhale, you sweep your arms up to a T, and then keeping all that, you're going to turn your head to look over your front hand, which is the left hand. So remember, back leg is straight, front knee is bent. Make sure that front knee is pointing towards your second or third toe because it kind of wants to point inward. Shoulders are relaxed, face is soft. Get really present with this warrior two. You have nothing else to do right now but warrior two. Straighten the front leg. We're going to start to reach forward for triangle pose or trikonasana. Your left hand can go to the shin, to the floor, or a block. The block goes on the pinky toe side of your foot. Both legs are straight. Your right hand is reaching up towards the ceiling. The shoulders are stacked. And you can be looking down towards your front foot, towards the side wall, or up towards your lifted thumb. Make sure you're really strong in the legs and belly here. See if you can take a little bit of weight off of the left hand. Press into the feet, come back up to warrior two. So bend back into that front knee. Nice job. Kick off the back foot. Come on up to the top of your mat. We'll switch sides. Big step back for warrior two with the left foot. And get yourself all aligned here. So back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel aligns with the back arch. You're bending into the front knee. Shoulders and hips are facing the side wall as you inhale your arms to a T. And then turn your head over your front right hand. Once again, check out your front knee. Make sure that you have a good view of your big toe. Otherwise, move your knee towards the second or third toe. And settle into this warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Straighten the front leg. Start to reach forward with the right hand as we come into triangle pose. Right hand comes to the shin, the pinky toe side on the floor or on the block. Shoulders are stacked, legs are straight. Lots of triangles going on here. You can be looking at the floor, the side, or up towards your lifted hand. Stay strong and steady in your feet, so that means avoid pouring weight into the right hand. That's just for a little bit of balance. And then strong in the legs, come back up to warrior two, bending into the front knee. Nice. Kick off the back foot, come on up to the top of your mat. Great work. Find mountain pose again. Close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. Open your eyes, float the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward, keeping the legs as straight as they can be. But remember, if you need to keep a bend in them, that's totally fine. This is all a practice. Work your way back to downward facing dog. And then lower the knees and step your right foot forward to a low lunge. And again, this might be a good time for you to cushion the back knee if you have tender knees. But we're lining up the front knee over the front ankle and standing up nice and tall on the back knee. On an exhale, shift the weight in the hips forward so you're really opening up through this left quad and hip flexor. Use your breath. Stay really present with this posture, making it work for you. Shift the weight in the hips back as you straighten the front leg for a runner stretch or Ardha Hanumanasana. And hands are going to go to the pinky toe side of the foot. So maybe your hands are on your shin or ankle. Maybe they're on the floor. This is a nice place for a block as well. Your right toes are flexed up towards the ceiling to really get into the back of the right leg. Come back to center, bending in to the front knee one more time. Hands come to the thigh as you sweep the right arm behind you for a twist. Exhale to come back to center, and we'll switch sides. So right knee comes underneath you as you step the left foot forward. Make any adjustments that you need to make this posture work for you in this moment. So maybe that previous moment you needed something different. Assess where you're at right now and stand up nice and tall. As you exhale, shift the weight in the hips forward, really getting into the right quad and hip flexor. Stay strong in the belly and keep your shoulders relaxed. Gently shift the hips back as you start to straighten the front leg. Remember, you can always use your hand to straighten that leg if you know it can go straighter. And we're reaching over the pinky toe side of the left leg now. So maybe hands are on the shin, maybe they're on the floor, or maybe you're using a block here. Trying to get into the hamstrings with this stretch and a little bit into the IT band. Bend into the front knee one more time, bringing your hands to the front thigh. Keep your right hand on the knee. As you inhale, sweep the left arm behind you for a twist. Exhale to unwind back to center. Nice work. All right, bring the left knee underneath you. Come to a seat on your mat. You're welcome to sit right on the floor or on your blanket, whatever you like. Actually, no, I take that back. No blanket. Set it off to the side. And come to a seat. Knees are bent and feet are flat on the floor. Hands are behind the thighs as you sit up nice and tall. So we've done a bunch of balancing on our legs. We're going to do a little bit of balancing on our seat using the strength of the core for boat pose. So pull in the lower belly, tuck the ribs, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, see if you can tip back and get your feet off of the mat. You can either stay here or bring your shins to parallel. Maybe a little flexing, pointing going on with the feet. And if you want to free your hands from behind your thighs, you're welcome to do so. We're all in different places, so really be kind to yourself here. If you're really struggling, maybe back off a little bit or just cheer yourself on. And if you're here and you're like, Amanda, I really want something more, you're welcome to go for it. I don't want something more presently. But you could. So you could reach your arms up. You could do Russian twists. You could straighten your legs. Or maybe just hearing me talk about it was plenty. Steady breath. Nice job. All right, exhale. And come to a cross-legged seat, sitting up nice and tall. Bring your palms together in prayer in front of your heart and close your eyes for just a moment. And just check in with yourself here. How are you feeling in this present moment? How's your body? How's your mind? How's your energy? If you're not sure, that's okay too. There's no pressure here. Release your hands and open your eyes. Let's make our way onto our backs to start to cool down here. We're getting pretty close to Shavasana. So lay all the way down on the floor. Knees are bent and feet are flat on the mat. And your feet should be about hips width apart, parallel, something like this. Nice. Arms are down by your sides. Keep your left foot planted as you reach your right foot up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands behind the thigh as you pull the leg a little closer to the body. Relax your right foot and do some circles with the ankle. And make sure you do both directions and get really present with this ankle. How's it doing? Are you making circles? Is it crunchy or clicky? Or is it really smooth? Just notice it while you stretch out the top of the foot. Nice. Come to stillness with the foot. Pull the leg a little closer to the body. Maybe it helps to move your hands up towards the back of the calf. Lower your right foot to the floor as you extend the left foot up. Hands go behind the thigh, pulling the leg a little closer to the body. And then you're relaxing that left foot as you do some circles with the ankle. And switch directions. Thank you, ankles, for being so nice to us during practice tonight. All right, come to stillness with the foot. If you want to walk your hands up the leg a little more, you can do that, but pull the leg a little closer to the body. And release your left foot down to the mat. Nice job. Hug your knees in towards your chest and gently rock from side to side and front and back. And then place your left foot on the mat, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and bring the legs in towards the body for a reclined figure 4. They also call this reclined pigeon pose. Both feet are flexed here. The right ankle is just crossing over the left thigh, and you're using the left leg to press the right leg in closer to the body. Hands can be on the floor beside you, or you can have one hand on the knee and one hand on the ankle. And then we'll switch sides. So crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, both feet flexed once again. And you decide how much you want the legs pulled in towards the body. Now for some of us, when we do this stretch, this is really, really intense, and you know where you're feeling it. For others, we're really open in the hips, and you might be wondering what's going on here. So just do your best with it and trust that you're doing the right thing. On an exhale, lower both feet down to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees be wide for a reclined bound angle pose. Arms are down by your sides with your palms face up, and you're looking up towards the ceiling. And this is going to be our final posture before Shavasana. And if you like this posture, you're welcome to just stay right here. If you want to take a more traditional version of Shavasana, extend your legs straight out on the mat with your feet mat width apart, and just let your feet relax open to the sides. Everyone should have their shoulders nestled down on their back, arms down by your sides with your palms face up. Backs of the hands are connected to the floor off of the mat. Here is your moment of absorption. In this present moment is when you are taking in all of the efforts of your practice, and you're just resting as it all settles into your being. So be really present with this rest and just enjoy. I'll ring the bell when you're done. Allow your breath to deepen and bring some movement back to your toes and your fingers. On an inhale, extend your arms up overhead as you reach your legs out nice and long for one final stretch. Maybe your fingertips can even reach the floor behind you. Hug your knees in as you roll onto your right side. And then using as little effort as possible, And keeping your eyes closed, make your way up to a seat, sitting up nice and tall like we did in the beginning. Find a seat that works for you and bring your palms together in prayer in front of your heart. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift, which is why we call it the present. I hope that you have enjoyed our exploration into present moment awareness and found some benefit in it tonight. There really is no time like right now to do whatever it is that you need to do to make your life happy, balanced, and healthy. I'm so glad that you were here to practice together tonight. We'll chant the sound of Om to close the practice, and we'll chant it one time. Take a full exhale. And an inhale for Om. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you with great respect. Namaste. I'm honored to have spent this time with you tonight. Thanks for coming and practicing. I hope that you can enjoy the present moment off the mat as well. I'll see you next week. It'll be our last time. I look forward to it. Be well.